Have you ever imagined a missile that could zip from Beijing to Moscow in less than 1 hour? That's the reality the CJ-1000 is delivering. From the skies to the ground, China is quietly ushering in a new era of speed. If the 20th century measured power by the number of aircraft carriers or nuclear warheads, the 21st century is witnessing a different race, the race for hypersonic supremacy. And at the heart of that storm is the CJ-1000, a cruise missile capable of streaking from Beijing to Moscow in under 1 hour. With a range of about 3,729 miles and speeds reaching Mach 6, the CJ-1000 stands as a symbol of China's assertion in cutting-edge technology. Join Top 10 Discoveries official to dive into this groundbreaking story right now. In global strategic history, military strength was once measured by scale. How many aircraft carriers? How many bases? How many nuclear warheads? But in the 21st century, as technology becomes the pivot of power, that yardstick has shifted. Speed, not just the velocity of weapons, but the pace of development, decision-making, and response is emerging as the new unit of national might. The past 3 decades have witnessed a quiet arms race in hypersonic weapons, where major powers strive to shatter the physical limits of velocity and time control. Russia kicked things off with the Zircon series, a missile capable of reaching Mach 9, traveling at over 6,900 miles per hour, tested on both destroyers and submarines. The United States countered with programs like HAWC, the Hypersonic Air-Breathing Weapon Concept, and ARRW, the Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, emphasizing maneuverability and global strike precision. Meanwhile, China has risen as the third player, advancing faster than anyone else. From the DF-17, a hypersonic glide vehicle launch system, to the DF-100, a high-speed cruise missile designed to pierce enemy defenses, all these laid the groundwork for the CJ-1000, a symbol of the People's Liberation Army's speed is power doctrine. The CJ-1000 is more than a weapons project. It's the convergence of 2 major national strategies. First, Made in China 2025, a high-tech industrialization plan aimed at reducing reliance on the West, where aerospace and jet engine fields rank as top priorities. Second, a defense research and development program spanning over a decade, zeroing in on heat-resistant materials, infrared sensor technology, and supersonic combustion ramjet engines, also known as scramjets, beneath the surface of a military endeavor. The CJ-1000 truly exemplifies the maturity of China's industrial and technological ecosystem, where research, production, and testing integrate within a single network. Its emergence also signals a shift from catching up on technology to shaping technology as China moves beyond replication to leading in fields demanding extreme technical expertise. In a world where every millisecond can decide a battle's outcome, speed becomes the new strategic energy. And the CJ-1000 is how China declares it's not just keeping pace with the hypersonic era, it's helping define the future of hypersonic technology. Asterisk, behind the CJ-1000's emergence lies not just a military project, but an interdisciplinary industrial and technological network designed to operate and sustain itself independently. This stands as the clearest evidence of how China is tightly integrating its civilian and defense sectors, transforming national industrial capacity into a foundation for future military dominance. At the heart of this network is the Aero Engine Corporation of China, or AECC, a state-owned conglomerate focused on researching, developing, and manufacturing next-generation jet engines. AECC collaborates with the China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation, known as CASIC, and the People's Liberation Army's Academy of Military Science. Together, these 3 form a closed-loop technological triangle, where science, production, and strategy operate in parallel. To achieve this, China has built a fully domestic supply chain, covering everything from heat-resistant materials capable of withstanding more than 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 2,000 degrees Celsius, to navigation sensors, flight control algorithms, and artificial intelligence-driven trajectory simulation systems. Instead of relying on imports, the People's Liberation Army has embraced a strategy of localizing every detail, investing heavily in domestically produced composites, ceramic alloys, and infrared sensors. What sets this apart is the synergy between civilian and military technology. The CJ-1000A engine, developed for the civilian COMAC C919 and C929 airliners, shares design principles with the CJ-1000 missile. Though one powers passenger flights and the other serves military purposes, both stem from the same philosophy, mastering high-speed jet propulsion. This alignment allows China to optimize research and development costs, shorten testing timelines, and create an engine ecosystem that can evolve across sectors. The Scramjet technology, the CJ-1000's beating heart, draws from this aviation research program. Aerodynamic simulations, thermal management, and ultra-durable materials from COMAC have been fed back into military research institutes. As a result, the line between aircraft engine and missile engine is increasingly blurred. This connectivity reveals how China is turning its entire industrial base into a strategic engine factory, where every civilian project can serve as a springboard for defense applications. The CJ-1000, therefore, is not just a triumph of military science, but a product of a high-tech economy operating at an exponential pace of industrialization. Asterisk, asterisk. The Scramjet, short for supersonic combustion ramjet, is the beating heart behind the CJ-1000's power, propelling this missile to speeds exceeding Mach 6, roughly 4,600 miles per hour. At its core, the Scramjet is an air-breathing jet engine, meaning it does not carry oxygen like traditional rocket engines. Instead, it draws air from the atmosphere, compresses it, and combusts fuel directly at supersonic speeds, a concept simple in theory, but extraordinarily complex in practice. To grasp why the Scramjet is a breakthrough, compare it to earlier engines. Turbojets excel at speeds below Mach 2, using fan blades to compress air before combustion. Ramjets, developed later, eliminate the blades, leveraging the vehicle's forward motion to compress air, enabling speeds of Mach 3 to 4. But beyond Mach 5, compressed air moves so fast that the flame in a ramjet's combustion chamber gets blown out. The Scramjet overcomes this by combusting fuel in a supersonic airflow, where the airspeed inside the chamber never drops below Mach 1. Picture this. At Mach 6, air rushes through the engine faster than the speed of sound. Fuel must be injected and ignited in mere thousandths of a second, a challenge akin to lighting a match in a supersonic hurricane. To achieve this, China developed ultra-heat-resistant materials using titanium ceramic alloys and pioneered supersonic ignition technology, ensuring stable combustion even when airflow exceeds 7,000 kilometers per hour. The Scramjet's combustion chamber is a sophisticated structure featuring an air inlet, a natural compression zone, and an optimized exhaust nozzle, all fine-tuned using computational fluid dynamics simulations. With artificial intelligence and advanced aerodynamic modeling algorithms, engineers can predict airflow, heat distribution, and adjust inlet shapes for peak efficiency across flight phases. This is where China has invested heavily over the past decade, merging artificial intelligence, three-dimensional modeling, and real-world testing to refine thousands of variables in an engine less than 15 feet long. The Scramjet not only enables the CJ-1000 to hit extreme speeds, but also sustains hypersonic flight over long durations without relying on a ballistic trajectory. This allows it to fly low, hug terrain, and change direction nimbly, making it elusive to radar detection. With its Scramjet, the CJ-1000 is not just a fast missile, it is a revolutionary aerodynamic platform, fusing material science, artificial intelligence, and advanced propulsion to usher in an era where speed itself becomes the ultimate weapon. If the Scramjet engine is the heart of the CJ-1000, its flexible deployment capability is the backbone, making it one of the most sophisticated long-range weapons ever developed in Asia. Defense experts estimate the CJ-1000 can achieve speeds of Mach 6 to 7, roughly 4,600 to 5,300 miles per hour, with a maximum range nearing 3,700 miles, or about 6,000 kilometers. This range is sufficient to cover the entire Indo-Pacific region, even reaching distant United States bases in Hawaii or Alaska. Unlike ballistic missiles that follow high-altitude arcs, the CJ-1000 is a hypersonic cruise missile capable of flying at low altitudes, hugging terrain, and constantly altering its trajectory. This makes it nearly impossible for early warning radars or traditional air defense systems to accurately track its path. Simulations suggest a response window of under 3 minutes, posing a severe challenge to existing defense systems. In terms of launch mechanisms, the CJ-1000 is designed for multi-platform adaptability, deployable from mobile truck launchers on land, destroyers or submarines at sea, strategic bombers in the air, and even forward bases in the South China Sea. This versatility allows China to disperse its forces, reducing vulnerability to preemptive strikes while expanding its strike zone beyond its borders. In combat, the CJ-1000 is believed capable of precision strikes on high-value targets such as aircraft carriers, symbols of an adversary's naval dominance, airborne early warning and control aircraft, and aerial refueling tankers, the eyes and lifeline of modern air forces, and command centers, radar installations, and critical military infrastructure that orchestrate battlefield operations. When paired with systems like the DF-17 or DF-26, the CJ-1000 becomes a linchpin in China's anti-access and area denial strategy, designed to block adversaries from sensitive regions such as the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait. Operating at altitudes between 110,000 and 130,000 feet, the CJ-1000 flies above the optimal range of most air defense systems, such as Patriot or Aegis. Combined with its ability to execute sudden trajectory changes in the terminal phase, it can glide through defenses without following a predictable path. The CJ-1000 is thus not merely a weapon of speed, but a comprehensive strategic strike system, uniting three rare qualities: velocity, flexibility, and radar stealth. It demonstrates how a nation is redefining long-range power, no longer measured by distance alone, but by the fleeting time a target has to survive once detected. In an era where speed has become the new unit of power in modern warfare, the CJ-1000 emerges as a formidable contender in the global hypersonic race. Compared to established benchmarks like Russia's Zircon or America's Dark Eagle, the CJ-1000 showcases a distinct strategy not just aiming for destructive force, but optimizing range, maneuverability, and production costs. In terms of specifications, the CJ-1000 is estimated to achieve speeds of Mach 6, roughly 4,600 miles per hour, with a range nearing 3,700 miles, 6,000 kilometers. This range doubles that of the Zircon, which spans about 620 miles at Mach 9, and surpasses America's Dark Eagle long-range hypersonic weapon, with a range of around 1,700 miles at Mach 5 or higher. While the Zircon may reach higher speeds, the CJ-1000 sustains hypersonic velocities for longer durations, with flexible flight paths and active navigation within the atmosphere. This makes it difficult to detect and nearly impossible to intercept. The next major difference lies in its aerodynamic characteristics. The CJ-1000 is a hypersonic cruise missile, unlike the Zircon and Dark Eagle, which are glide vehicles that follow ballistic arcs before gliding in the upper atmosphere. This gives the CJ-1000 greater precision and enhanced radar evasion by flying at low altitudes, typically between 100,000 and 120,000 feet, with a sleek, elongated body, a compact warhead, and a heat-resistant composite shell. The CJ-1000 produces a low-infrared signature, making it challenging for satellite-based tracking systems to detect, even during its cruise phase. From a development strategy perspective, China is applying a scalable production model to the CJ-1000, significantly reducing costs compared to its Western counterparts. A fully domestic supply chain from scramjet engines and navigation sensors to mobile launch systems eliminates reliance on imports. This enables faster production rates and seamless scalability when needed. Symbolically, the CJ-1000 is more than a weapon. It represents a shift in global technological leadership within the hypersonic domain. A decade ago, Mach 5 was a barrier only America and Russia could breach, but now China has crossed that threshold, integrating this technology into its practical military doctrine. On a broader scale, the CJ-1000 declares that the world has entered a new phase of strategic competition where speed and artificial intelligence replace sheer quantity and scale. In this game, China is no longer playing catch-up but stands among the frontrunners. In China's grand strategic landscape, the CJ-1000 is not merely a technology project, it is a critical piece in the nation's doctrine of strategic space control, specifically the anti-access and area denial strategy, often abbreviated as A2AD. This doctrine aims to reduce the ability of outside forces to intervene in regions that China considers its core interests, including the South China Sea, the Taiwan Strait, and the first island chain stretching from Okinawa to the Philippines. The CJ-1000 enhances deterrence capability within this A2AD framework by striking strategic targets at ranges of roughly 3,000 to 4,000 miles, covering many key areas across the Asia-Pacific region. At speeds reaching Mach 6, it drastically shortens an adversary's reaction time, leaving only a few minutes between detection and impact. In this new reality, China's military power no longer relies on the sheer quantity of missiles, but on precision strikes executed within an almost zero-warning timeframe. What makes the CJ-1000 truly different is that it does not need a nuclear warhead to create strategic impact. With pinpoint accuracy and a conventional warhead weighing about 1,100 pounds, or roughly 500 kilograms, a single strike can disable an airbase, a command center, or even an aircraft carrier. This capability has led analysts to define a new concept: non-nuclear deterrence with limited nuclear-like effect, achieving strategic influence without crossing the line into global destruction. Symbolically, the CJ-1000 sends a clear message in the language of geopolitics. You may detect it, but you will not have time to respond. That phrase captures the core of Beijing's evolving doctrine: no need to flaunt power, only to prove the ability to enhance strategic deterrence throughout the region. The rise of the CJ-1000 is also forcing traditional Western military doctrines to reassess themselves. When a weapon's velocity surpasses the processing speed of radar and command networks, the very notion of a frontline defense becomes obsolete. Instead of building more shields, nations are now shifting toward early detection networks and artificial intelligence systems capable of predicting and responding before a threat even materializes. In this sense, the CJ-1000 is more than a weapon. It is a testament to China's technological progress in the field of hypersonics. It asserts a new paradigm. In this century, power is no longer defined by how many bombs a nation possesses, but by speed, precision, and mastery of high technology. Behind the impressive exterior of the CJ-1000 lies a chain of colossal engineering challenges, limits that even the world's leading powers are still struggling to overcome. Because once you enter the world of Mach 6, every traditional rule of aerodynamics begins to collapse. At such velocity, friction with the atmosphere can raise surface temperatures above 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 2,000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt most conventional metals. As a result, the CJ-1000 must rely on advanced heat-resistant composite materials that combine ceramics, carbon, and nickel-based alloy substances that are not only rare, but also extremely difficult to mass-produce with stability. Another problem is maintaining a stable flight path while moving through the thin upper layers of the atmosphere. Beyond Mach 5, the air ceases to behave like a normal fluid flow. It turns into plasma, disrupting radio waves and complicating navigation. This means the CJ-1000 must depend on artificial intelligence guidance and inertial sensors instead of traditional GPS or radar navigation. Yet those AI systems have to process billions of calculations within a few seconds. A staggering challenge involving computing power, heat dissipation, and data security. Military experts note that China has not yet publicly demonstrated any large-scale field tests proving the CJ-1000 can sustain stable flight at Mach 6 for several minutes. Most of its reported specifications are extrapolated from computer simulations and small-scale test results. This raises an important question. Has the CJ-1000 truly reached operational readiness, or is it still an advanced prototype in the making? Beyond engineering, supply chain and political barriers loom large. Key components such as infrared sensors, heat-resistant materials, and AI chips remain subject to global export control restrictions. This compels China to expand its domestic capacity for semiconductor and specialty material production, a process demanding tens of billions of dollars in investment and many years of research. Furthermore, as technological speed outpaces the creation of international standards, the risk of going too far becomes increasingly apparent. There is still no global framework governing the safety or transparency of hypersonic weapon testing. That means a single miscalculation or sensor failure could unleash consequences far beyond anyone's control. The CJ-1000 thus stands as a symbol of the modern technological paradox. The faster and stronger humanity builds, the greater the risk becomes. It tests not only the limits of science, but also humanity's ability to control the very speed it has created. The CJ-1000 represents more than a leap in weapon technology. It stands as proof of the scientific and industrial independence that China has pursued over the past 2 decades. From a nation once reliant on imported technology, China has gradually built a model of technological evolution from imitation to innovation, where prototypes once dismissed as Western copies have become the foundation for original inventions with a distinct identity. In the field of hypersonic weaponry, the CJ-1000 perfectly embodies that spirit. It is not just a military product, but the result of a national strategy linking civilian and defense industries. Advances in jet engine design, heat-resistant materials, artificial intelligence, and aerodynamic data from civilian programs such as COMAC's C919 airliner have all been repurposed for military development. In other words, China has built a dual innovation chain, where the boundary between civilian laboratories and military research has nearly disappeared. Strategically, the CJ-1000 positions China at the global table not as a follower, but as a frontrunner in the technology of speed. While the United States continues to test its long-range hypersonic weapon prototype, and Russia struggles to maintain reliability in its Zircon system, the CJ-1000 is believed to be in an advanced stage of development, with limited deployment possible in the near future. This creates a temporary gap in global deterrence, compelling other superpowers to accelerate investment in anti-hypersonic defense systems and AI-based trajectory prediction technologies. The long-term effect is a worldwide technology race in which speed itself becomes the new unit of national power. Not only the United States and Russia, but also India, Japan, and European nations are pouring resources into hypersonic flight research, triggering a chain reaction that reshapes 21st century military strategy. The CJ-1000, therefore, is not just a weapon, but a declaration of China's new technological stature expressed through innovation, supply chain control, and mastery of core manufacturing. As the nation looks toward the year 2049, the centennial of the founding of the People's Republic of China, its military aims to become a world-class force. The CJ-1000 stands as a critical milestone on that journey. The remaining question extends beyond China to the entire world. Will the future of warfare be decided by who fires first, or by who flies faster? An open question indeed, yet one that confirms a single truth: the era of speed has truly begun. The CJ-1000 is not just the name of a missile, it is the symbol of a new era, where speed is no longer a technical factor, but the language of power and global influence. In less than a decade, hypersonic technology has transformed how humanity perceives distance, time, and defense strategy. A single object capable of traveling more than 4,300 miles in 1 hour, once the stuff of science fiction, has now become a reality. Looking back, the CJ-1000 marks not only a milestone in China's defense technology, but also a profound shift in the global technological order from who has more to who moves faster. The race unfolds not only on the battlefield, but also inside laboratories, along production lines, and within every line of code written for artificial intelligence systems. And perhaps that is what makes the CJ-1000 transcend its military meaning. It serves as a reminder that every limit can be broken, as long as there is enough speed, determination, and control over the power we create. What about you? Do you believe that in the future, speed will truly define national power? Or is humanity pushing too far in its race to outrun itself? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe to stay updated on the latest insights into technology, national strategies, and innovations shaping the future. Top 10 Discoveries Official will return with untold stories, boundary-pushing projects, and quiet revolutions that reshape the world. See you in the next video.